commission will not discuss or debate these items, nor will the commission make decisions on items presented during this time. Members of the public will be limited to 3 minutes for comments at this time. Is there any public comment?
Here they come.
There's quite a bit of public comment. Sorry, we've been here for 4 hours, I think.
Yes.
Of us have. So sorry, there's going to be a little bit left to this meeting.
It's great.
So I want to start out. My name is Kinc Kade. I live in the Oriad neighborhood. I want to start out by saying we've seen how quickly some things can make it into the agenda here. Most recently, Resolution 7599, which offered to strip many identity protections from our neighbors. We woke up one Friday, it was in there, and then I think it went on a roller coaster ride of being on and then off. So we see the alacrity with which this commission's agenda can move if something is important to a member of the commission. So now we are months into the quiet rollout of a massive surveillance system. Apparently only a couple weeks into anybody knowing about it. From the messages that I've seen from the commission and from what I've received from Commissioner Larson, it seems like most of us weren't clear exactly of the broad nature of the Axon contract that was passed by consent agenda. Today would have been the first meeting that you could have held agenda space for the concern. After it was flagged, we learned about it from Lawrence Police Department, posting it to Facebook and Instagram. From the internal emails we obtained through a public records request, it's clear the City Commission did not understand the scope of what was approved. Public input was bypassed at every step. And this is key because it goes beyond whether or not you agree with the deep dive into what we believe is a community with surveillance. It goes to the heart of our governance and our civic process. Something I've seen with Lawrence for a really long time is rigorous public input. There are very few things that come up in this city that don't have at least 2 boards looking at and 5 people that just are there to say something about it. A massive surveillance rollout had 0 public input. I cannot stress how vast and what a large infrastructure of surveillance this FUSIS system puts into place. And if you, a quick Google through different cities, Columbia, Missouri is a great example of where this came up in public and people fought back. People don't like this. This needs to be placed onto the agenda. So I'm here with a large group of people. We're here late at night asking for a quick pause to all of the FUSIS system, add a formal agenda item where staff can present an oversight framework for current surveillance tech and future procurements, and commit to no further expansions without public input, particularly a CCOP ordinance like was seen in Columbia, Missouri. So thank you.
Thank you, Kate.
Hi, my name is Rowan Shuring, 66044. And I also just wanted to say that I encourage you to suspend the rollout of the FUSIS system and get more input from the public about this, because I really believe that this is not something that the majority of people in Lawrence want. I think that most people would think that this is creepy and weird and we shouldn't do it. And I also think that. And in addition to that, I wanted to bring up again that it would be really nice if we had general public comment earlier in the meeting, because there are several people who were waiting to speak on this issue and had to leave because it's 9 p.m. Thank you.
Good evening, commissioners. My name is Maria Pereo. Coming to you today just as a community member, not affiliated with any organizations. I'd like to echo previous comments in regards to this so-called community connections or connections program that is utilizing surveillance technology and asking essentially our neighbors to sign on to utilizing their own cameras in real time to assist in so-called investigations by the police. As somebody who comes from immigrant background with immigrant family, our community is under attack by the federal government. We are already seeing the unfortunate effects of that occur in our community. And the response has been the response of community members stepping up to take care of each other. We have not had any oversight or support from any other entities, police or not. And the big concern is we know that federal agencies would love to use technology like this, would love to have the assistance of local police to be able to kidnap community members. And it's deeply concerning to me that this particular contract was not reviewed as thoroughly as it could be and was not given an opportunity for public input. So I really encourage the pausing of this program, the opportunity for community input, and the opportunity to actually discuss what safety means in this community, because at this point in time, that is not in alignment with what law enforcement is doing, whether that be on the national level or local level. There is a state law that requires local municipalities to work with federal immigration enforcement should they ask. Who knows if that means utilizing some of the resources that they are putting into place. So I'm deeply concerned. I ask that we just take a step back. I ask that we really talk about what safety in our community means, and knowing that utilizing technology and surveillance, specifically surveillance technology, is not the way that we get to actual community safety. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Maria.
Hi, my name is Mazy. I live at 66044. Just to continue on with the Fusus and Axon. Fusus is obviously something we already had in Axon. It's something across the country doing this exact same thing that they did with our city. They roll it into something that we have fought for in the past, body cams. We like that. So why would we question this extra thing? I truly believe no one knew what they were getting into. This is a bipartisan negative effect that what these people do. And it's obvious that even though, it's 9, went on, this was not put on the agenda, so there wasn't official public comment. We had to wait. And those of us that are here by the grace of God, and the sheer want to dispel and pause Fusus and connect Lawrence until there can be broader oversight, actual discussion, an actual agenda item, not people waiting indefinitely. This is clearly the community obviously cares about it. There are 30 individual signatures on an open letter, as well as 10 organizations, and over, around 350 signees to a petition where we go, urging this community, urging the commission to pause this, consider exactly what we did. We have the opportunity to correct a wrong. A lot of people have been coming at the commission hard tonight about things in the past, things they've done throughout their tenure, as all of you have been on the commission. You have an opportunity to correct a wrong before you go out, and I feel this is one way to keep this city safe going forward as we move forward with the changing country. You can make a positive, lasting impact by even doing so much as pausing Connect Lawrence, implementing, adding this to the agenda, adding some oversight, making sure that everyone involved, even the police department, I don't believe truly understands the full scope of this technology. And to me, most importantly, the community understands exactly what we're doing. I noticed while I was looking for the agenda today that the City Commission website has a little survey. And one of those questions on there is transparency. How do you feel about transparency about the city's finances and budget? I said very dissatisfied. City's level of transparency about procurement services, very dissatisfied. How well the city keeps you informed about important programs, services, and projects, very dissatisfied. And your ability to have a say in city government decisions, I feel very dissatisfied. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, commissioners. My name is Micah. I'm going to be one of the people who really come for y'all for a second. You should be embarrassed. It's election day. We elected y'all into these positions, and y'all didn't know what the fuck y'all approved. Sorry, I'll correct my language to make sure I keep my 3 minutes. Y'all didn't know what you approved. We elected you to be the decision makers. We put our trust in you as a community, and you showed us that that trust was misguided. You've then reinforced that that trust was misguided by staying silent in all of this time. And the time you could have had, that the fact that this is the only reason we're having this conversation tonight is because it's brought to public comment. Commissioners directly were reached out to about having this. There's a petition that I know y'all have seen on your social medias that Lawrence community members have signed. Your constituents have told you that they want to talk about this. And instead, you're hoping that by the meeting running so late, people won't be able to make it and it'll be a small turnout. We're here. Y'all may choose silence, but that's not how this community works, will work, or has ever worked. You need to put it on the agenda. You need to be more considerate about people's times. You need to pause the program immediately. 100 cameras are integrated. How many of you commissioners can tell us where those 100 cameras are, what the integration is, when it started? Who has access to that? Think about those things. Be ready to answer those questions, because once this goes on the agenda, the public is ready to talk and have a conversation.
Thank you.
The number one rule in terms of resisting fascism is not to comply in advance. This 100% is complying in advance in many respects. The reality is it won't just be used against the people that you think of as criminals. As has been mentioned earlier, all it takes is ICE asking us pretty please, and we have to give them access to whatever they want. And the reality is that I'm sorry, but the police department is not a bigger payee to Axon than ICE is, especially now in this moment. All it's going to take is Trump going, I want that, and more than likely Axon's going to roll over and give it, as many other corporations and companies have done already. So we have to identify how we can be proactive, how we can make certain that this kind of information just quite honestly isn't there to be grabbed and scooped up. That's a part of building resiliency in this moment. Identifying the structures and the bridges that we kind of need to burn. And quite honestly, even in good times, this is a bridge that would have needed to be burned anyway. Thank you.
Hi there. My name is Jeff, 66046. Another Laurentian just vehemently opposed to the integration of a monitored security system that's represented by Access Fuson. I think for myself, for many people sitting here, for you all, a reasonable expectation of privacy means that if I go downtown, I have a reasonable expectation that somebody might see me walking out with an ice cream cone, right? That does not mean that I should always expect that an anonymous camera should be recording me, uploading my data to the Lawrence Police Department, and then that information could be accessed by any federal agency, as others have mentioned, at any point in time. That's not a reasonable expectation of privacy, right? I see this to be broadly concerning in two major areas. One is just simple bureaucratic creep, right? This is going to be generating petabytes of data, not terabytes, petabytes of data per year. Even with 100 cameras currently integrated, we're seeing such a massive accumulation of camera footage that the Lawrence Police Department is bound to become dependent on that system, right? This is going to be so integrated into their daily working that if they were ever to become concerned about Axon's reach, if the community was to oppose it, vehemently, in greater numbers, the simple fact of it just being so hard to transfer to a new data system is probably going to just keep them where they are and allow that program to metastasize. I mean, what are you going to do when you have that? You've had maybe a GoPro before, right? You don't know what to do with 5 gigabytes from your vacation, petabytes of data. It's going to be so hard to switch. The second is that, you know, we have opted in for an AI integration. Now they say, hey, this is going to register weapons, vehicles, but it also just notes suspicious behavior. What does that mean? I mean, a year ago, right, ChatGPT was just like a fancy Google. Now I could take the recording of this meeting, upload it to a free AI service. It would give me a transcription of every actor involved in this whole meeting and a summary of what I mean, in 5 years, which is how long this contract is set to last, we don't know what will be possible with AI analysis of video data. We're simply unaware. I doubt even the Exxon Corporation is aware of the scope of that. I really don't think anybody in this room knows what we have signed up for. The cherry on top is the environmental impact, right? Even in a town the size of Lawrence, generating petabytes of data, if you have 100 homes that are having a 24/7 live stream capability, which is certainly an option with Axon Fuses, that generates 150 households worth of energy every year. It consumes that, rather, in the form of server maintenance, cooling of memory storage areas. I mean, this is not, you know, leaving your refrigerator open for a few seconds while you're looking for a snack. This is an enormous impact on our energy consumption as a town. Thank you.
All right. I am Mason Koger, 66046. I think everyone here is opposed to the idea of surveillance. I also disagree with that, but that's not what I'm focused on because I think everyone agrees. I have 2 additional points. First, this is a pricey plan. And amidst the current issues with the budget that have been mentioned just today, and a lot of the constituents complaining of high taxes, I don't think this is the time for that kind of expense, even if I trusted it. We feel like we can't really afford the things that we want, so I don't think we should be spending money on the things that we do not want. Additionally, to continue the discussion of that massive amount of data that is being exported out of our community, that is going somewhere, it is being stored, and we just have to assume that it's safe and secure, which I don't think is a good assumption. I think we should assume that anytime that data is being stored, there is the possibility, or in some cases the inevitability, that it is going to be leaked, even if you trust Axon, which I don't. The fact that data exists means you have to trust, you know, malicious hackers with that data also. And I'm just another thing to think about is the degree to which that data is secure.
Good evening, Lesley, 66046. I wish to come before you today to relay my disapproval of the Fuses surveillance contract. It is invading the privacy of Lawrence residents, and it's to me an issue that should have been discussed prior to the advancement of the project and the signing of the contract in the first place. And it is concerning that once the public was aware, their concerns did not appear to be taken into full consideration. From George Orwell's 1984 to Netflix's own Black Mirror, literature and media have been demonstrating the issues and lack of freedom caused by a surveillance state. Allowing a $3.2 million surveillance contract without the input or knowledge of those being surveyed leans Lawrence closer to those authoritarian regimes of fiction than towards a safer community. I'm especially concerned with the AI tools included in the Fuses technology, as for years, facial recognition technology has been proven to be faulty. especially in recent years with the inclusion of these AI tools, as false arrests have been increasing across the country, as documented by the ACLU and the Washington Post. I find this decision does not promote safety for our community, but instead is actually putting at risk many members, as not only are their daily lives being intruded upon by cameras that they are not consenting to be recorded by or have their data stored by, but it's also well known and well documented the amount of fatalities and violence with police encounters. And so in these false arrests, people could be construed to be a criminal, face a police encounter, and lose their lives. As City Commission elected officials, your duty is to the people of Lawrence. By possibly putting their lives at risk, you are not fulfilling that duty. I urge you to pause this contract and stop the rollout of this integration and actually listen to the community members and allow them space and time to give their full accounts and their full opinions on this issue before actually moving forward with a plan that money could go towards creating more community spaces, could go towards the Parks and Rec, which is facing budget cuts, rather than increasing surveillance on the daily people who have no actual say in when those cameras are integrated or how their data is being used. Thank you.
Taylor Berger, 44069. At a time when genocide, mass starvation, and global instability threaten millions of lives, it is a moral failure for any government, local or federal, to prioritize surveillance over solidarity, care, and justice. And yet, that is exactly what the city of Lawrence is doing by moving forward with the FUSIS Axon police surveillance program without transparent public input or community oversight. For over 2 years, our federal government has armed and funded the ongoing genocide of the Palestinian people, something this commission has yet to condemn. While people are being bombed, starved, and caged with our tax dollars, the city of Lawrence is choosing to invest in the surveillance infrastructure that mirrors the very systems of control and domination we should be resisting. Instead of building networks of aid, compassion, and justice, we are expanding police surveillance at home with tools that will disproportionately harm Black, brown, and poor community members. We're not asking for more cameras, we're asking for accountability, transparency, and priorities rooted in human dignity. There's no justification for advancing a program like FUSIS, a platform designed to centralize and expand police monitoring without an independent oversight board, public access to policies and data, and meaningful input from the very communities most likely to be surveilled. You do not build trust by watching people, you build it by listening to them. This city has a choice to make. Will it stand with the people or with the growing surveillance state? Will it remain complicit in the systems of violence our government exports abroad and is now importing into our neighborhoods? Or will it stand on the correct side of history? Which side are you on? Thank you.
John M. 66049. I received messages today about an announcement that was going around on social media, which I don't use. I don't use social media. I don't trust it at all. You'll see why in a minute.
You're going to quote it.
But residents were asked to register their home security cameras and encouraged to, quote, integrate them into a centralized surveillance system. I don't have inside home cameras because I've got these. Every one of these, which you all have, has a camera on it. Every day, I'm sure all of us receive scam emails or scam links that if you get tricked into selecting one, that's giving permission to the sender to look through your camera or integrate code that can look through your camera. It's a simple matter, a small matter of programming to get hold of your internet protocol. My camera's on AT&T, a big institution, highly secure, right? Yet I still receive these. I've got an outside camera on my porch, not in my home, that is on an internet in my home and stores pictures of people who come to my door. That's easy to get hold of if you get the internet protocol. Obviously, the camera manufacturer has a centralized database, and I can get the pictures back, but so could anybody else who happens to be given permission to look through that camera, which is why I don't have any in the house. My wife's so freaked out about the idea of somebody looking through our cameras, even on her phone or her iPad or her computer, that she puts a piece of tape over the camera unless she wants to use it to communicate to somebody else. If somebody can look through your camera, whether it's on your phone or your iPad, they can learn something about you and develop a protocol where they can be more trusting in getting you to give up information that maybe you should not, bank information, access to your home, what have you. We have a lot of elderly in the environment, which are quite commonly tricked out of their financials. And I think this system, no matter how secure Fusus says they are, anything that has a centralized database can be interrupted, just like AT&T is. Thank you.
I'm Erica Earls. I'm at 6044. I'm a librarian. We take privacy seriously, and I think it's reasonable for people to think that in the city of Lawrence, Kansas, that they should be able to walk around and not be surveilled. I think if you ask yourselves, if this was able to be put to a vote to the people of Lawrence, do you think they would pass it? Do you think they would go for this surveillance? I think you should pause it and give public input. I don't think the people of Lawrence would want this. I think it's wildly intrusive, and the fact that it's going and being fed into AI, I don't want my image fed into AI. I can tell you that. There are a lot of people that would appreciate you protecting them from this surveillance. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Commissioners. My name is Arlo Clementine. I live at 66044, and I'm coming to you as a community member, but also a queer and trans historian and archivist. And this is so concerning to me as someone who is spending their lives recovering histories of queer and trans people, particularly in the Midwest. Because for many decades, the only files that you can get to are state-ran files, because so many of our records were destroyed by other people, by the state, or for our own protection. They were not moved and collected. When I think about surveillancing here in Lawrence, Kansas, and the ways that it could harm marginalized communities, like our immigrant communities, like our queer and trans communities, like our unhoused community members, there are just so many ways based on history that this can harm us and will continue to harm us, especially within the digital age. I really urge you to pause this surveillance collaboration until the people in the city of Lawrence can look at it and can give their input and an actual agenda, general agenda item. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, man.
Christina McKenna, 66046. I'm here as a concerned neighbor. You got my long form notes on this. This is my short form. Let's talk about Fusus. They told us it's just a camera registry. Right there on the website for Connect Lawrence, it says something else. Step 1, register the camera. Step 2, integrate it and connect it. Feed it straight into a live stream surveillance system. And who pays for it? We do. Thousands for some of the implementation devices, then 150 or 900 per year automatically, unless we cancel it in writing. And that's not even including the taxpayer money of at least 3.2 million. And there's half the deficit we're looking at. It's not about public safety. This is surveillance infrastructure. We're told it's voluntary. No, it's only voluntary for the person authorizing access. But if my neighbor connects their camera, I don't get to opt out. I don't get a warning. Whereas my alert that their camera caught me on it and you're watching because of the flag outside my home, the color of my skin, or the fact that I struggle to feed my family on the income my clothes tell you that I make. I just become part of the system, another number, another statistic. As a woman, I've already played that part far too often. That's not consent. Haven't we had enough non-consensual action in this country? Here's the pattern we've seen in other cities. Topeka, 1,300 cameras integrated already. Atlanta, increased by over 10,000 cameras in 1 year. Toledo, officers spent 4,000 hours watching only 23 feeds in 10 months. It expands fast, and it never goes backward. We know we don't have the staff for intensely watching it continuously, but that's the point, isn't it? Fusus uses AI. One officer can scan every person by license plate, backpack, hoodie, or a few keywords without needing a warrant. Aren't we already dealing with warrantless ICE kidnappings? No warrant, no oversight. They say this makes us safer. Show us the evidence, because here's what we do know. These systems have targeted peaceful protests. They've misidentified people of color just to hit a quota. They've been used to over-police poor neighborhoods, and it's not a tool, it is a weapon, and it has a pattern of being used unjustly. I thought you believed in the democratic process. Where was the public conversation? This was buried inside a $3.2 million contract with no clear explanation and no honest debate. You knew it would matter to the public, but it was passed quietly and without our input. Maybe you didn't know enough about it either. That's why we need to talk about it. In a town where we get to weigh in on murals and speed bumps, we were denied the right to weigh in on a citywide surveillance system. That's not democracy. That's a violation of public trust. So here's what I'm asking you to do. Pause the rollout, bring it back into the light, and allow us to decide how we're governed, including how we're watched and tracked. We deserve transparency. We deserve oversight. We deserve the right to say no, and for that no to be heard by those who are supposed to represent us.
Anybody else?
Dave Wesley, 66049. Try to keep this short. Good governance is not spying on your constituents. That's Russian or Chinese style government, not American. Most pertinent issue for commission, for you guys, candidates, is the financial condition of the city, and you want to add over $3 million to our budget in order to spy on us without judicial oversight. That makes a lot of people mad. Like the big, beautiful bill on the federal level, this is using our tax money to take away our privacy and freedoms. If you haven't noticed, the bear has already been poked. The giant is awake, and this will not be forgotten. This kind of activity doesn't go away. This would not be acceptable even if it was free. But to add insult to injury, you want $3 million to spy on us after wanting to capitulate to the feds for money if we cancel our civil liberties. We're done.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Barbara Lane Theris. I live at 66046. I'm a grad student at KU. I'm thinking a lot about, well, first of all, you didn't want to put us on the agenda? Why? We put you all here. You're here for us. This isn't about you. It's about us. And this number of people is going to grow a lot bigger if you don't do something. Please do something. Do you want to be followed with a camera? We don't want to be followed with a camera. KU students don't want to be followed with a camera. KU students aren't going to go out if they're going to be followed with a camera. We're not going to want to go out and shop. We're not going to want to give the city business. We're going to want to stay inside where it's safe, questionably. So please, listen to us, respect us, put us on the agenda. Don't make us be here at night. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Chris Flowers, and I just want to start off saying you need to place public comment back before commission items, because you all can't act on this tonight, I don't think, because doesn't the meeting end after public comment? So I just want to throw that out there. And you need to move public comment back to the top of the meeting, so some of these people could have talked by now. When it comes to body camera, I want to talk about body cameras, because when they were talking about all the storage it's going to take for these cameras, I remember when we introduced the body cameras for the police, and we couldn't have the cameras recording all the time because we don't have the storage for that. So how do we not have the storage for the cops to have their body cameras on all the time, but we do have the storage for 100 some cameras to be running all the time? That's kind of fishy to me. And also, I just want to say it's interesting that none of you all so far have asked for this issue to be looked at. And I just want to say, Commissioner Sellers, I would expect nothing less from the progressive politician you are. I would absolutely expect for Commissioner Sellers to sit there through commission items and not ask for this to be brought up. So, throwing that out there. Also, what I want to talk about this, I think some of you all are going to be prime candidates for the cameras to follow, because what if they catch one of you cheating on your significant other? Are the cops going to blackmail you? Will cops, I mean, I'm serious. I've run for city commission before. If I was to run again and win, I think there'd be people in the government wanting footage on me because I'd be a radical. I would be fighting for change, and there's going to be people in power that's going to have footage of you living your everyday life, and you're going to make mistakes, and there's going to be, I don't know. I think there's going to be cops using this to blackmail politicians to get stuff they want. So I just want to make sure you all think about this, if you all might be some of the ones being targeted. And I think that's about all I have. But, oh yeah, will the location of the cameras be revealed to the public, and also the names of the people who own them? If they're going to be using them against us, we should have the right to know. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Joe Lipel, 66044. I want to take a second to talk about why privacy is so important, especially under this administration, in this year, in this time in the world. Because if you are not already an enemy of the state, you will be. Because under a fascist police state, everyone becomes an enemy of the state at some point, if you are not already. So we know who is at risk currently. That's why we're here. There are neighbors, there are friends, there are family. They are at risk currently right now. We are at risk right now. They will keep moving down the line. That's how this works. It starts somewhere and it escalates. So you sign up now thinking you're safe to try to save yourself, but they come for everyone in the end. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Anybody else in the room? Sure, is anybody online?
Matt, Dicki.
Thank you.
Hello, this is Matt Dicki, 66049. I just wanted to say that it's at a time when you're asking the community to give up their recreation centers, for a fee that's higher than most private gyms in this city. It's insane that you would agree to spend $3.2 million to spy on this community. At a time when women's health rights are under attack, it's insane that you would hand the reins over to companies that have allowed the state of Texas to follow women as far as New York to get health care. It is insane that you would do this in private, and I think you know that, and that's why you tried to hide it from us. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Matt.
Mo Horowitz. Mo Horowitz.
Hi, I'm so sorry. I thought I had turned the mic on. My zip code 66044. I'm concerned about the PUSIS surveillance system and how it was approved without public input. Actions PUSIS won't keep us safe. What these surveillance tools will do is make it a lot easier for ICE to target immigrants, decrease everyone's privacy, increase inequities in policing, and eat up funding that's badly needed for education, affordable housing, and other essential services. When the National Institute of Justice studied Project Greenlight, a program that facilitated live police access to businesses' cameras, they found the surveillance did not decrease violent crime. I'd ask you to consider the potential for tampering and misuse when cameras are connected directly to the internet. According to the Electronic Frontier Foundation, there have been multiple instances when over 100 automated license plate recognition cameras were exposed online. In some cases, anyone could open a browser window, view a camera's live stream video, and witness the plate captures in real time. If you or someone you love has ever been stalked or had a violent partner or family member, you know how scary that scenario is. There is also the potential for police to misuse these tools. Police do not need tools that bypass warrants and oversight. Neither does ICE. While it would be reassuring to believe Axon's $3.2 million contract will be deployed in ways that will legitimately help Lawrencians, I'd ask you to remember that in 2022, Axon suggested the development of teaser drones for use in classrooms, like, quote, sprinklers and other fire suppression tools, unquote. That's a direct quote from Axon's CEO and founder. To state the obvious, we're living in a dangerous time. I'd ask that you don't provide fascists with tools that make their work easier, or at an absolute minimum, get substantial input from the people it's your job to represent. Please pause this program and provide public oversight and transparency. Thank you very much.
Anybody else, Sherry?
We have one more, Mayor.
Sorry, was that?
We have one more
Yes.
at the moment.
Okay, thank you.
Samuel Carter.
Good evening. My name is Samuel Carter, 66046. I'm here on my own behalf. I support Kinc Kade's request. Please suspend the rollout of the PUSIS surveillance system and put it on a public agenda. Thank you.
You, Samuel.
That's all the comments.
All right. Very good. Thanks for all those comments. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Second. Move to adjourn by Larson, seconded by Finkeldye. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Was opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Good night, everybody.